Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is a Stitch with Me, a long overdue one. So I hope you are all well and safe. So today we're going to be working on Native Wolf by the Cross Stitch Studio, and I'm working in this area around here. So we're going to see if we can, how much of the page we can get done. So hopefully you can see where I'm working. A little bit out of practice. It's been a while. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to aim for at least an hour, not 3, so like I said I was going to. It's a running joke between me and Sue that's with my Facebook page. She always wants a really long Stitch with Me. She says she wants at least a 2-hour one, and I said I might as well make it 3. So she says she's going to hold me to it, so it's not going to be a 3-hour one. We're going to at least aim for an hour. At least. I'm going to attempt to try and keep my hand out of the way, but we'll see how we go. So again, I think this is my first Stitch with Me in the new year, so Happy New Year again to everybody. I hope you had a good holiday season and you had a good new year if you chose to celebrate doing anything. I say I stayed at home. I was in bed for 10 o'clock. I live a fast moving lifestyle. So we'll go through and see what we can talk about today. We'll start with work stuff, as I normally do, just so you know exactly what's going on. So work's actually quite busy at the moment. We've had a fair bit of timber coming over the last couple of days, so it has been quite busy. The downside to it is we are now a couple of staff down because they've got COVID. So we've not done too bad at work. We've never had any cases of COVID at work. But since we've now opened the borders and the Omicron viruses now got into the state, we're now being overrun with it. I do reckon we've reached the peak of it, so who knows? But yeah, so one of the guys tested positive over the weekend, so he's off. And then the guy who he normally works with, he felt a bit crook, so he did one of the rapid tests, and it showed that he was negative. But then on Monday, when I was at work, he had a scratchy throat. You could hear it. And as the day went on, he started feeling a bit worse. So he said he was going to go and get tested properly because he had the shivers and a headache. So he took himself off on Monday to get tested. And then we found out on Tuesday, because it's Wednesday today, by the way. We found out on Tuesday that he actually has got COVID, so he's now off. So needless to say, everyone's staying away from everybody. Well, trying to. I'm alright. I work on the store on my own, so I don't hang around with the other guys. because no one likes working on my saw, so I'm staying away from everybody. And so Shane, he's staying away from everybody as well. So, but it makes me laugh because the timberman said that they're not closing the place down, just to keep yourself distance from everybody if you can, and all that lot, which I'm surprised because the owner and his missus are a reasonable age. She's, I think, 66 and he's 72, I think, maybe 74. So you'd think that they would stay well out of the way of everybody. But they're still there at work. So, obviously, as you're aware, I had an interesting start to the year. Got a flat tyre. Come out of work and saw the tyre was flat. Went to see about getting it fixed, because a lot of them, they can just plug them. Because we had I don't know where we got it from, but we ended up with a screw in the tyre. So we went to see about getting it plugged. They were going to do it, and then when they took the tyre off, they said that the steel inside the tyre or something on the tyre wall was showing through on the inside, so it means it's been run on flat too long. So we had to get a new tyre, but they didn't have any, so they had to order one in. So we had to go the next day to get that fitted, which was fun because we got there when they told us to go, and the turnaround said that they were still waiting for the truck to turn up. I was like, okay. So it shouldn't be too long. So we was off doing stuff. And as soon as we drove away from there, they phoned up and said the tyre's actually here. They didn't realise that the order that they thought was coming in had been cancelled and the tyre had already been delivered that morning. So we had to turn around and go back and got that fixed. And then we got started off as a chip on the windscreen, which then soon escalated because of the warm weather. So that smashed, cracked. And as you're aware, we phoned up the insurance and they said it was going to cost over $200 to get this windscreen replaced. We didn't say we had a cracked windscreen, we just said we was asking about it. And they said, because over here, for some reason, you've got to pay extra to have your excess reduced on your windscreen, which we didn't know. Some of the insurance companies over here give you it free anyway, one free windscreen, but not the company that we're with. So they say we won't be staying with this company when it comes to renewal. So we kind of did it sneakily in the day after we found up to have the reduced excess on for the windscreen. And then phoned up the day after, it was either the day after or 2 days after, to claim for a windscreen. So instead of it costing us $920, it only cost us $50. And they were pretty quick actually, they got it booked in that day. So Shane took the car over on lunch break, and they said they needed the car for, I think it was 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, because we've got the automatic windscreen wipers, and the rear view mirror is automatic as well, so it dims if there's too many bright lights coming towards you. So they said they need it a bit longer because they have to calibrate it all to the new windscreen. I was like, okay. So Shane took it at 12. At 2 o'clock, the turnaround said that it was done and we could pick it up. I was like, that was quick. So that was sorted. So it's great when you get a new windscreen because it's so clean you can see out of it. It's not now. Not with other bugs that we hit on the way to and from work. And then, so that's all sorted now, so that's good. Shane's not here today. He's down at his dad's and mum's. So his mum is actually in hospital. Excuse me, frog in my throat this morning. Yeah, so over just before Christmas, Shane's mum was diagnosed with lung cancer. But luckily the cancer was only in an isolated spot. It hadn't spread. So they asked her what she wanted to do. She wanted to do chemo or have it removed. And so she said she was going to get it removed. So that was an interesting Christmas. And then they said they will send her a follow-up appointment. So she finally got that one through. And she went to see the specialist, I want to say last Monday, so over a week ago. And they said, they double checked with her what she wanted to do, and they said, right, we'll get you in at some point this week and get the surgery done. So she was like, okay. So she got home, and literally she walked through the door. They found her up and told her she had to be back at the hospital within 3 hours. She was getting the surgery done the next day. So she didn't have much time to organise stuff. So she went in on the Monday, had the operation on Tuesday. I believe it was Tuesday. So they've cut it all out. They've got it all. They're just waiting for the test result. They were waiting for the test results to come back just to make sure it was benign or whatever. So I still don't know if they've had that result back yet or not. They've not said anything. So Shane's been on and off down there. Apologies. Ginger is climbing up the back of this sofa and has pulled the covers down on top of Kitty. So yeah, I don't know what the results of that one was for. Came back as. But as far as I'm aware, they've got it all. So Shane's been down there on and off, looking after his dad. I think mainly just to make sure his dad gets food, because his dad's not a very good cook. He knows how to make beans on toast, and that's about it. So Shane's been down there keeping an eye on his dad, plus also taking his dad up to the hospital, because over here, parking at the hospital is absolutely ridiculous. For the hospital that his mum's in, for the first hour, it's something like $18. And then it goes up for every hour after that. So most people park on the street somewhere and walk over. So Shane's been taking his dad up and dropping him off and then picking him up when he's ready to come home. So he was down there all last weekend, and then come to work on Monday, came home Tuesday, or went back to his dad's yesterday after work, dropped him off there, and then he's due to come home. Now he's not sure yet if he's coming home today or if he's coming home tomorrow, because his sister's going down to visit his mum. So he doesn't know if he's coming home with them or if he's going to stay at his dad's and then his dad drop him off at work tomorrow. So then he'll be coming back home, I'm going to say tomorrow. So he'll be coming back home tomorrow, and then he's going back down at the weekend so he can take his dad again to the hospital. So he's going to stop in there over the weekend. I'm enjoying the peace and quiet, it's great. But to be fair, when Shane's not here, the cats are as good as gold. Well, it's Tiger really. Good as gold. I have no problems with them whatsoever. As soon as Shane comes back, they play up. And Tiger, as soon as Shane walked the door on Monday afternoon after work, Tiger started. And it's like, really? You've been good all weekend. So I dropped Shane off last Friday at his dad's, and then he came back, I say, on the Monday. So Tiger was good as gold all weekend. Wasn't terrorising the other two cats. It's been a nice cat for a change. But yeah, as soon as Shane walked through the door, he started. It's like, really? You little git. And like I say, and then last night he was good as gold. He woke me up a couple of times because he wanted a fuss. It's like, you can't pick any better times to wake me up, can you? No. You have to wait until night time for a fuss. So I think he woke me up at 12 o'clock for a fuss. And then he did something last night that he never normally does, and he went to sleep on my back. I sleep on my front, so he went to sleep on my back. And it's like, this is not comfortable at all, because he's not a light cat, he's a big cat. Luckily, he was only there for about 20 minutes and then he got off. So thank goodness for that. So today is Australia Day, so it's a day off. And I had all these plans I was going to do. Get out in the garden, sort the garden out, and get the washing done. And it's raining. So it's like, oh well, I'm not doing any of that then. It's always the case, you have a holiday or a day off, and it always rains. Well, it does for me. Whenever I have a day off, it rains. It's like if, on holidays, over the Christmas period, it rained near enough the whole 3 weeks we was off, and the day we were due about to go to work, it was going to be sunny and 33 degrees. It's like, seriously. So, and again, as per normal, today I wanted to do stuff and it rains, but never mind. So last Saturday, I did the washing. Last Saturday just gone, I did the washing. Filmed my video. No, I didn't, it was Sunday. Did the washing, filmed the video. Started doing my college work. I was like, oh, it's starting to rain, it's spitting, I can hear it. So I went out to get the washing. And literally, I was out there 2 seconds and the heavens absolutely opened. I was like a drowned rat. It absolutely bucketed it down. And as soon as I walked in with the washing, it stopped. It's like, that's typical. Where am I? No, I'm going to say after it finished raining, it then brightened up, so I was able to get the washing out and get it dried, which is good, because it needed to be dried, because it was all the work gear. Luckily, because Shane was at his dad's, his dad did his washing and they've got somewhere where they can hang it, but it's not outside, so it's under cover, so his clothes still managed to get dry. And I was like, come on, I need to get mine dry. I need my shorts and my t-shirts. I managed to get them dry eventually, so that was good. If you can hear a noise, I've got Ginge at my feet, under my feet, under my computer desk, and he's washing himself. So if you can hear a kind of like licking noise in the background, he's Ginge. kitty is under the cover on the sofa because she's stupid. It's like 28 degrees and she's under cover. It's really muggy because it's been raining. Tiger, I have no idea where he is. I've taken himself off the bed or something, knowing him. I don't know if I've got any questions. I know I've got one from Sue. I'm not sure if I've got any more. So you might hear me flicking through my phone in a bit, having a look to see what I've got. But I don't think I actually got many questions. Mind you, I've not done a stitch with me for a long time, so that's probably why. So, a question from Sue, which I'll know because it wasn't a hard question to answer, was, does my brothers know I do a floss tube? The answer to that is nope. And she says, I'm assuming Shane knows that I do a floss tube. The answer to that is nope. So no one knows I do these. Except for you guys, obviously. I didn't tell Shane because I didn't know how long I was going to continue with it, because I didn't know if my channel would take off or not. So I was like, well, I'm not going to tell him I'm doing them, because if it doesn't take off, then obviously I'm not going to be doing videos very often. Obviously, I'm up to 3,000 subscribers now, so it's obviously going to be staying. So I suppose I should tell him at some point. The reason I haven't told him as well is, as I've mentioned before, I do get a little bit of money from doing videos. It's not a lot, it's like an extra $100 or something a month. So for this month I didn't get anything, probably because I didn't have many videos up. So I know for a fact, if I told him that I was earning that little bit of extra money, he'd want to spend it. Because Shane's one of these where he needs stuff. It's like, right. But he's one of these where he really, 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 really needs it. And then he gets it, and he uses it for that day, and then it goes away and it never gets used again. So he's one of those kind of people. Even though you say to him, are you going to use it more than once? Yes. Are you sure you're going to use it more than once? Yes. Okay then. And then he uses it once. So Shane's one of those kind of people. Missed. You just love it when you've got to try and thread a really small piece of floss. Oh, I got it. I have a new needle, so it might thread a bit easier today. And because I lost the other one, I don't know where it went. Got ready to stitch, I thought, I'll get my first colour, and I was like, where's my needle? Lost it. I have no idea where that went. Right. Again, I do apologise if my phone goes off at any point. As I say, Shane may phone up. He shouldn't do. I've already spoke to him today, and his sister, as I say, his sister's on his way down, so he shouldn't need to phone up. I'm just going to flick through my phone quickly and see if I've got any messages, any questions. Oh, another part from Sue as well. Does my mum know that I'm doing the Mirabilia for her? The answer to that is no. That's going to be a surprise. So I can't remember when Mother's Day is in the UK, because in Australia it's a completely different month. But I think Mother's Day is in March. So that's why I want to try and get it finished by February so I can get it sent over. So she's great for Mother's Day. Oh, another one is from Danielle. Cardiff Stitcher here on FlossTube, who asked, do I ever lose my Stitchy book? And if so, how do I get it back? So I have never lost my Stitchy book. Full stop. So I've got to the stage where, sorry, I've just dropped my scissors. I've got to the stage where I've picked some stitching up to do some stitching, and it's like, I really cannot be bothered with stitching today, and I put it away. So I do get the odd day where I just can't be bothered with stitching, but I've never lost my stitchy book completely. So I think with the stitchy book, I think if you've lost your stitchy book, the best thing to do is just step away from your stitching for a day or two, and then when you feel like you want to go stitching, go stitch, or like maybe every other day just pick a piece up and see if you want fancy stitching on it, and if you start and think you can't be bothered, then put it back away again. There's no point forcing yourself to stitch. Yes, I know it's a hobby and some people like to do it all the time, but there's no point forcing yourself to stitch just because you've got stuff there. If you don't feel like stitching, don't stitch. That's how I look at it anyway. I'd say there's been days where I've not stitched for like 2 or 3 days because I just didn't feel it. And sometimes you think, oh, it might be the piece you're working on. So you pick another piece up and you're like, no, I'm just not feeling it at all. So I just put it away and just leave it for a day or two. Guaranteed it's not happened to me much. But every now and then, I get the day where I do that. It's like sometimes on the weekend, I have the whole day off. It's like, oh, I can get loads of stitching done. And then it gets to the day and it's like, no, I can't be bothered. I'm going to watch a movie instead. I'll see if I fancy stitching afterwards. Which is what I did on last Saturday. Got home from work. I thought I just fancy watching a movie. So I watched the movie. And then I did fancy stitching afterwards. And then it was time to phone my mum, so I was like, no point starting any stitching now. So I didn't do any stitching last Saturday, as I mentioned in my update. And again, on my update, if you're watching this, don't forget there is the giveaway on there for the pain-free craft chart, well, kit. So if you aren't, just put that in the wrong spot. And apologies as well if you can hear the noise in the background. There's a frog going off. It's the only thing over here, when it rains, the frogs go off and they're not quiet. And there always seems to be a frog in the drain. I don't know why. There's always a frog in the drain. So 9 out of 10 it's a tree frog. And it echoes so much because they're in the drain. Do I know what I forgot to say? So I don't know if you remember, I've mentioned it before. At work, I have a couple of pets, which are my butcher birds, who come for their biscuits in the morning, well, and throughout the day. Well, I started off with 2 originally, and then a third one started turning up, which I think is the other 2's child, I think. Well, come back after Christmas. It was like, see if the birds are going to turn up. It's been 3 weeks. Anyway, 2 of them turned up on the same day. The younger one didn't turn up till the day after. So it's like, oh, they're all good. And then all of a sudden I got a 4th one. It's like, hey, where did this one come from? So the younger one, he used to be brown. So with the butcher birds, when they're juvenile, they're brown. And then as they get to adulthood, they change to, it's like a black and grey colour. So he started getting his adult colours now. So he kind of looks a bit of an odd bird because he's half brown and half grey. And then there's a new little brown one. And it's like, where you come from? Anyway, it turns out it must be the other two who come, one of theirs kids, because they were feeding it. So they were picking up the biscuits and feeding the youngster. So I thought, oh, okay, I've now got 4. So I've now got 4 birds at work. And yesterday, just before we finished, one of them turns up. One of them always turns up at 3 o'clock. We finish at 3:30. Always turns up at 3 o'clock on the dot for his last bit of biscuits before we finish. So I was giving him his biscuits, and this one takes it out of your hands. So I always give him it out of my hand. And one of the bosses was actually stood behind me watching. I didn't even know he was there. He just stood there laughing because he's never seen a butcher bird taking food out of someone's hand before. But yeah, when you turn around and you see boss there, you're like, oh, shoot, sorry. You just stood there laughing. So yeah, so I've now got 4 birds. And it makes me laugh as well because even when I'm off, the others feed them. They always come to me for feeding. But if I'm off, the others are like, oh, the birds are here, we better feed them. And they actually feed them. They moan at me to keep saying, stop feeding the birds. It's not so much the butcher birds, it's the noisy miners that come in afterwards. Because they're little beggars. They attack anything and anything. Well, other animal-wise, birds-wise, they always gang up on them. They always go around in gangs. And so we try not to feed them once. The boss's wife does. She feeds them at the front. So we try not to do it. But you can always guarantee as well they sit on the bars across the roof. So sitting there just tweeting and making a right racket. So we try not to feed them. But the butcher birds, they don't mind, because with the butcher birds as well, they also catch the bugs that are flying around. So we get a lot of horseflies, so the really big flies. So we get a lot of them in the shed for some reason. I don't know why. And they always gravitate to one of the saws, which is generally the one at the back. So the butcher birds actually catch these horseflies. So now they don't mind the butcher birds being in the shed, because they keep the horseflies down. And a couple of the guys at work don't like spiders. I'm not a big fan of spiders, but I don't scream like a girl and run away like they do. So they don't like spiders, so obviously the butcher birds eat the spiders, and also the cockroaches. One of them who's off with COVID, the first one, he hates any kind of insect whatsoever, any crawly insect. If he knows you've got one in your hand, he will run, literally, he will run a mile. So it's quite funny chasing him. I've even done it where, the tops of the tomatoes, where it's come off the vine. Done it so you have just a bit of that sticking out your fingers, so he thinks it's a leg, and he will run a mile. It's like it's a tomato top. So I love tormenting him, it's great. But yeah, one of the new guys has started, he hates them as well. So one of my packs, I opened it up, and I got halfway down, and there was this giant beetle. And this, you can't even see what I've been stitching. There was this giant beetle. Apologies. And this beetle must have been good 3 inches. So they said it was a rhino beetle, but as far as I'm aware, the rhino beetles have a horn, and it's the reason they're called a rhino beetle. So I don't know what this one was, but it was huge. Anyway, it was just dead. I was like, okay, you weren't there yesterday, so what it's died of, I have no idea. So I picked it up and put it on his saw. Needless to say, he didn't like that. And then we decided, one of the guys comes on his push bike. Well, I'll say push bike, it's an electric bike, but he comes to work on his bike. And he wears his helmet. So we taped it to the front of his helmet. As you do. And he never even noticed. So for 2 days, he was riding around with this beetle stuck on the front of his helmet. It was so funny. And then he finally found it and then took it off and threw it at someone. So we kept putting it back on his table, and he kept moving it. So I decided I was just going to put it on his table. Then I wrote on his table, "I love you." And he saw it and he just started laughing. So needless to say, the beetle is still on his desk with the words "I love you" underneath it, and one of the other guys wrote his name. So so he's now still there on his table. So, as you can see, we are really grown up at work. You have to do something to relieve the boredom. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. I've just hit the camera. Let's get my new force out. Right, let's have a look, see if we've got any more messages. So that won't be the one. Oh, also, while I remember as well, one of my followers asked if I can use any kind of magnification when stitching on 28 count. They want to try 28 count, but the holes are too small. And if I had any kind of advice of what to use. No, as you know, I don't use magnification, except for on castle walls for some reason. I have to wear my glasses. Now, I did mention as well that some people use those funny looking glasses with all the different lenses that you can add into them that have the light on it and that. I mentioned that, but I'm not sure about like floor magnifiers. So if any of you guys use magnifiers, can you pop a comment down below as to which one you use, so I can let this person know the different varieties and which one people recommend. I'm also going to ask in the Facebook group as well, so if you don't want to put a comment on here, if you are in the Facebook group, then just head over there and answer it on there. I'm going to put it in there later on today, I think, as well as the Zoom meetup for Sunday. Right. So yeah, so any help would be much appreciated. I say I don't know much about the stand magnifiers or whatever you call them, so I don't know which ones are good and which ones aren't. So if anybody can help, that would be much appreciated. I do apologise, this seems to be shaking a little bit today. I don't know why. Maybe I've not quite tight enough. No, it's not tight enough, that's probably why. So how are we doing? We're 40 minutes in. Okay. So I got the Afghan out the other day, so that 12 months of snowman. Yeesh, I don't know, I'm going to work on that one. I didn't get many stitches in it, that's for sure. It's 4/2, which I don't mind. But it took me absolute ages to get the centre of the chart. Every time I went to start, I'd lost the hole I was meant to be coming up in, and I'd keep measuring and measuring and measuring. So that didn't go as well as I wanted it to. Plus the fabric is that big. I was like, well, that's not going to fit in a cuse now. So I was trying to stitch it in hand, and I was getting that hot with the fabric on my knee. And so I can't do this much longer, so I need to try and find a way of getting a Q-snap or something like that. But I'm going to say the fabric for it is absolutely massive. So if anyone's done an afghan, please, if you have any tips on how to deal with the fabric on them, do let me know. I know Hallie from Stitching Big Things with Hallie has done an afghan, and she's working on another one. She uses a Q-snap, but I don't know how she manages to get it all in there. Because it's so annoying having all the fabric just sprawled out all over you while you're trying to stitch. But yeah, that was fun trying to stitch in hand. I say I've not done stitching in hand for an awful long time. Last time I did stitching in hand was when I was back in the UK. So probably 2010 when I started Northern Lights piece, which is the wolves. I used to stitch that one in hand. I kind of got back into the swing of stitching in hand, doing well, the tiny little bit I did. But it was just annoying with all the fabric. So I definitely need to find a way of managing that one. I'll say because the fabric on there, I mean, it's a lot bigger than my super-sized tiger one. So trying to figure out how I'm going to have that one all strapped up is going to be fun. So if any of you have done an afghan and have any tips on that, please let me know. Just trying to work out where I am. So ecology is going really well. As I say, doing the spreadsheet unit that I'm on at the moment, I thought it would be a lot harder than it would be. I've passed my first 2 assessments. I've almost finished the 3rd, so I've still got a couple more weeks left before that. Excuse me, before that's due. So I've almost finished the 3rd. I've got 1 more question to do on there. So I'm surprised how well I've picked that up, especially having to do formulas and stuff like that. But it's gone really, really easily. I've asked for help once because I just could not figure out a formula to do. So I reached out to one of you guys who knows all about spreadsheets, and it took them literally about 5 seconds to tell me what I needed to put in it. I was like, really? I mean, I'd done this one for over an hour trying to work it out. Yeah, it took them not long at all. I was like, cool. But other than that, I've managed to get on alright with it. So as I say, I've just got this last question of this assessment to do, and then I can get that one put in. And then that's that unit finished. And then I'll be moving on to the next one, which I don't know what that one is, but I'm looking forward to the one where we get onto the payroll, because that's going to be interesting. I know a couple of people who do payroll as well, so if I get stuck on any of that, I'll definitely be asking. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. At least in this unit, we didn't have to do any kind of stupid role plays. You've got to get someone to join you on Zoom and pretend to be somebody else. That was annoying. Good luck luckily Gail Phillips came to my rescue on that one. It's starting to warm up now. It's getting a bit warm in here. So later on today I'm going to start work on my London piece. I was going to do that on my Stitch With Me, but I already had this one set up, so I thought I might as well do this one. I'll start on do some work on my London piece. See how much we can get done on there. So I think by the time I finished doing this one, it's going to be at least maybe about, well, packed it all up and got everything ready for London. I think it'll be about 11, maybe 12 o'clock when I start on that one. So hopefully I should get a fair bit of stitching in on that one. I'm going to aim to try and get at least maybe 800 stitches in it, but we will see. Because I guarantee something's going to crop up. By something's going to crop up, it means Shane's going to have to come back home and his sister's probably going to follow. Which means that we'll have a household full. Put that one in the wrong hole. So over here, I don't know if it's the same way you are, but we're having problems with food at the moment, i.e. you can't get any. So because of the new Omicron, loads of people are off in the manufacturing buildings and distribution buildings. So our main supermarkets have no food. They have a bit of food, but most of it's the junk food. It's not your healthy stuff, so sometimes they get bits of fruit and veg in, but then it doesn't last long before everyone's taking it. So we don't have much food over here at the moment, and obviously with me trying to get this cholesterol sorted out, it's like I need fresh fruit and vegetables and healthier food, and there's nothing to have. You can't even get chicken. Meats are so scarce. Hardly any meat. I went into the shop on one Wednesday just to get some milk, and they had meat in. I was like, oh, that's all right. I'm gonna get paid tomorrow, so I'll get some meat. Yep. By the next day, it was all gone. So I was like, okay, we're not getting any meat then. But if you want like crisps, biscuits, sweets, you're alright there. There's plenty of them. All the junk food stuff. Anything healthy or decent, it's all gone. Even where the yogurts and stuff like that are, they're all gone as well. So the shelves are absolutely bare. So luckily we've been able to find enough stuff for us to survive on. Toilet rolls is another one that's now running scarce again. But this time it's not from panic buying, it's from not being able to get any deliveries. So Shane's sister's not had no toilet roll for a couple of weeks. She managed to get a couple of boxes of the tissues, just your paper tissues. So she's been using them. We had a couple of spare here, so we gave her a couple. And then she managed to get a couple of spare ones off her daughter. But then they've now run out, so they're using paper towels. So yeah, it's ridiculous. But I called in the shop yesterday to get some milk, and they had toilet roll in. So because her sister's going down to Shane, their mum's, I told Shane to tell them about the toilet rolls because it's cold. The shopping centre where they're going to be going. I told them that they've got toilet rolls, so to get there early. But whether there's any left now, who knows. But I did tell her I do have some spare here if she really needs any. So she says she managed to get a pack of 4 or something like that, so she's still got 2 left, she says, so it's going to last her a little bit. Not long. See, I must have known. I have a habit of, if, like for example with toilet rolls, once we've opened them, where am I going here? Yeah, once we've opened one packet, I will replace it and get a new packet. So I've always got a spare packet. So I must have known. Obviously Shane's sister doesn't do that. She just gets it as and when she needs to, and now she can't get any. Because Shane always well, what do you need more toilet rolls for? Just in case, you never know. And obviously I must have known. I have a bit of doing that with most things. It's like, oh, we need some more washing up liquid. And you open the cupboard, it's like, we didn't need any more washing up liquid. I've got 6 in here now. I was like, oh, I need some more fabric softener. Oh, no, I've got 3 of them at home. I'm terrible. I think I've run out, or I'm almost run out, because like last time I've used the softener, for example, the bottle might be almost empty. I was like, oh, I must get a new one of them. I don't think of looking in the cupboard to see what I've got. And then when I go to put the softener away, and it's like, yeah, I didn't need that. Do it all the time. I think at one point I had like 12 bottles of washing up liquid under the sink. It's like, I really need to stop buying washing up liquid. Well, there's one thing, I won't run out of washing up liquid anytime soon. Alright, can I get these last 4 stitches? Don't think I will. We'll see. Yeah, nah, don't think I will. Definitely not. Shoot. And that is stuck. Yippee. So you just lower it, and you get, I think it's gone through the other fabric behind, well, thread behind it, so it's got stuck. No, it's not coming out at all. Come on. Around here somewhere. Yeah. Knotted up on itself. Oh well, it was 2 stitches short. I'm just going to end this one. I almost made it. All I've got to do is try and thread it. So yeah, 54 minutes. But almost beat it to an hour. Run out of things to talk about. This one's going to be a pain now. It's not going to let me thread it. Let's try and get these cut to the same length. Might make it. Do apologise. I'll cut that bit out. You went for the right spin. As long long as I remember to cut that bit out. That's the hardest part, remembering to cut it out. Sometimes I say I'm going to cut stuff out and I forget. So I haven't forgot as well, I have got the video ready for the product review. I was hoping to have got it up on Monday and completely forgot. So I was going to try and run it alongside with the other giveaway, because there's a giveaway in this one as well. So I'm going to do that one. I think I'll release that one on Saturday, if I'm not working. And then it gives you a week to do that one as well. That's if anyone's interested in the product review. Excuse me, I need to move you again so you can see. There we go. Alright. Hang on that now. I'll leave that there. Well, there's your first hour of your 3-hour video soon. So what did we get done? We did do bad. 271 stitches in 56 minutes. That's not bad at all. So this one I'll probably get a bit more work on later on tonight once the sun goes in. I can no longer see on London. This will probably look a bit more different this time. So again, apologies for the shaky bit at the end. So I'm going to leave it there then, guys. So again, any questions or comments, then please feel free to drop those down below. Or again, you can email me. As usual, email address is dizzystitcher@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram as well as Dizzy Stitcher, so you can message me on there. So I'm going to get my update done this weekend. No, I don't know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. It just depends whether we're working or not, which I have a funny feeling we possibly will be working. Because as I said, we've got a fair bit of wood in at the moment. So other than that, welcome back to the Stitch with Me. Hopefully it's going to be continuing again now as per normal, how it used to be, so 1 a week. So again, hope you enjoyed. Happy stitching, stay safe, and until my next Stitch with Me or update video, take care, and bye bye for now.